Hi guys, my name is Chloe, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about 25 books I want to read before I turn 25. So as I'm filming this, my birthday is coming up. It's right at the end of July and I turned 24 this year. So I figured I'd set myself a little bit of a challenge and see if I can read 25 books before I turn 25. I have seen a few channels in the past try this out and I wanted to give it a go. These books are books that are on my shelves at the moment, so they're ones that I do want to get to anyway. I have tried to structure this video a little bit, so separating the books into groups and stuff as to why I want to get to them. I'm not going to be going through any plot synopses because there's quite a lot of books and it would take ages, but I'm gonna try and mention why I want to get to them. So yeah, I figured this would be a fun little thing to do and to check in on next year and to see how successful I was, and hopefully I can get a bunch of these read before next July. So the first category I've got are series, and these are series ones that I haven't already started, because that's a goal for me anyway, is trying to finish out series. So it's kind of cheating. I felt it was kind of cheating to put a series on that I'd already started, because I'm more likely to get around to that one anyway. So these are series that I haven't yet got to yet. And there's a few of these. So the first one is the Nevernight trilogy by Jay Kristoff. I got this one, this set from a friend last Christmas, and I still haven't got round to it this year. I have read Empire of the Vampire by him and loved it, and I've heard good things about this trilogy. It's one that I really want to get to, and it is kind of darker fantasy, so I am intrigued by that. The second book isn't a series as such, but it is linked to a series, and this is Tales from the Shadowhunt Academy by Cassandra Clare as well as other authors. I have never read this one, and it is the bundle of short stories after the Mortal Instruments. So I would like to get to this one. I love these characters, I love this world, and hopefully this will be an easy read, even though it is chunky, because it is short stories. Also, as part of the Shadowhunter world, I really want to read The Dark Artifices by Cassandra Clare. I've owned all of these books since they've come out, and I've never read them, which is awful because I love this world so much. I just never got round to picking up Lady Midnight and reading this trilogy, and I've heard that it's really great and many people's favourites, and I want to see if it can top the Infernal Devices for me. I don't think it will, but I'm hoping I will enjoy it more than the Mortal Instruments. Next is a series that I've had for absolutely ages and never read it. That's a lie. I think I've read the first book when I borrowed it from the library ages ago, but I recall absolutely nothing. And so I figured it's time to get round to it. And that is the Matched trilogy by Ali Condé. I don't remember much of this. It is a dystopian. I bought this when I was reading all of the dystopian books that I was into. So yeah, I figured it's time to finish this series, and maybe if I don't read it in the next year or so, I may potentially unhaul. So next are just a couple books that I've owned for absolutely ages, like with the Matched trilogy, and just never read. And I really want to get to some of these soon because, you know, they've been on the shelves for ages now and I should probably give them a try. The first one is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I picked this one up about 2 or 3 years ago now from a charity shop when I first got into Goodreads and started watching BookTube, and I've heard okay things about it, and because I've owned it for so long I just want to read it. And I want to read this because I've heard even better things about the Carry On series, which is the fan fiction which the main character writes in this book, I think. Next I have As Old as Time by Liz Braswell. This is part of the, I think this is the Disney Twisted Tales books. I've got like a load of them on the shelf here, and so far I've only read the Loki novel, which was amazing. I just haven't picked up any of the Disney ones. So I would like to at least read this one to make a start. Beauty and the Beast is my favourite Disney movie, so I'm hoping I'll enjoy this. For this one though, I'm not going to hold myself to reading this one as such. if I'm in the mood for one of the other Disney novels, then I will pick that one up, but I just want to get one of them down because I've got a collection of them and I have been ignoring them. So next are some hype books that I picked up, mostly for the hype. Some of them I was already interested in anyway, but these are books that I do really want to get to, just haven't picked up yet. The first one is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I've been hearing really great things about this book, and more recently lots of great things from Ashley over Ashley's Media Addiction, so I really want to get to this one, and it's been a while since I've read a YA thriller as well, so that should be interesting. Next is one that I also hauled from a charity shop, and this is The Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Picked this one up like with Fangirl when I started out on Goodreads and stuff and was just hearing people talk about this book, and so I picked it up, and it also came with sprayed edges, so picked it up. This one really intrigues me because I do really enjoy Agatha Christie and stuff, so murder mysteries, and in this one I think one of the characters or something relives this day over and over again, and they have to sort of like piece together how she died based on existing in these different POVs. I may be totally wrong, but that's what I gathered from this book, and that's why I really want to pick it up. Next, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have read Daisy Jones and the Six, and it was okay. It was very average for me. I know this one is most people's favourite book by the author, so I'm very intrigued, and yeah, I hope I really enjoy this one. Next, I have probably the only middle grade on this list, and this is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. I have been wanting to read this for a while. I first came across this book over on Gavin's channel at How to Train Your Gavin, since he hyped it up, and I've owned it for ages and ages and ages and just haven't got to it yet. I did try a chapter of this one earlier on in this year and thought the opening was okay. It just didn't grip me initially, but I do want to carry on and read this one, especially since I've pre-ordered the second one on Waterstones. Next is one that I've talked about on my channel before for a book that I really want to read and still haven't, and this is The Atlas Six by Olivier Blake. I want to get this one read so I can decide whether or not I will be ordering the second one on Waterstones, so I'm hoping to get around to this one sooner rather than later. But yeah, recently I've been hearing mixed things, but overall good things. Yeah, apparently the writing style can be quite hard to get into, it's quite fancy and pompous, but I've heard people say amazing things about the characters, and I'm definitely a character-driven person, so I'm hoping that I enjoy this one. The next group of books are books that I impulse bought, so I'd heard nothing about them on social media or what they were about, but decided to pick them up whilst I was out anyway, and so I should probably read. The first one is A Far Wilder Magic by Alison Saft, and yeah, I don't know too much about this. I think I saw the cover, thought it was gorgeous, read the synopsis at the time and it sounded intriguing. Next is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. Again, picked this up whilst I was shopping. I've been enjoying some contemporary romance recently, so I thought I'd give it a try. Since picking this one up, I have heard some good things though, so it looks like people are enjoying this book, which is also good. But yeah, I don't really know too much about it. Next I have Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. Yeah, picked this one up. It sounds really interesting, and it's definitely different to what I usually read. It seems like it's definitely contemporary, possibly literary fiction, I'm not too sure, but definitely something I don't usually pick up. But I saw the periodic table on here, and under the dust jacket is got all the elements as well and stuff, and being a scientist I thought I should pick it up and give it a try, especially since it seems to have some like feminist angles in this. I'm not sure, but yeah, could be interesting considering it's something that I've not really read before. Next is one that I picked up from Waterstones, and this is The Clockwork Girl by Anna Maslowa. I just saw this cover, absolutely gorgeous, and the edges. It was a beautiful edition. This was definitely a cover buy, but I also saw The Clockwork Girl and immediately thought of The Infernal Devices and found out that it was kind of set in the past and has some kind of mechanics and stuff in here anyway, so I'm hoping I enjoy it because it is gorgeous and I want to keep this one. Next I have two books, and these were author buys, so books that I've read from authors before and really enjoyed them, so I don't really know what these books are about, but I picked them up because of the author, so I have two. The first one is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I read The Hunt and Party and The Guest List by her and I loved them. I really liked the twist on this thriller slash murder mystery. Well, we don't know who's the killer, but we also don't know who's been murdered, and I really like that twist, like having to discover who the dead body is plus who's killing them. That was really unique, and yeah, I just flew through her first two books and saw this one and had to pick it up. Next I have another thriller, and this is A Slow Fire Burning by Paula Hawkins. Similarly, I read The Girl on the Train and Into the Water, I think her other book is, that I've read, and liked them, so picked this one up purely because of the author. And finally, to finish off this list, I have a couple of books that I received from FairyLoot, since I don't read as many as I should, considering I get a new book each month, and so I put down the two that I really want to get to the most. So the first one that I picked is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. I just love this cover, it's gorgeous, and I love the underwater themes and stuff that I'm hoping to get from this, and I think there's magic and sea creatures and stuff like that. Really want to get to this one. And the last book on this list is The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. This one I got fairly recently from FairyLoot and I hadn't heard of it before, but then I read the synopsis and I was immediately intrigued. It seems to be some kind of Aladdin retelling, and there are jinn and demons and stuff like that in this, but it's not really something I probably wouldn't have picked up if I didn't get it in a box, and therefore I've included it on this list in the hope that I can cross it off. So those are all the books that I want to get to within the next year. I don't think I'm going to get to all 25, going to be honest, but if I can get between 15 or 20 of these read by next July, I think I will consider this a huge success. But yeah, I will definitely have to tune back in this time next year, or well, almost this time next year, and see how many I've read. Let me know down below if you've read any of these, and especially if you enjoyed them. It's going to push me to pick them up even sooner and get a head start on this challenge. But otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye!